Delta Force. Country USA. Function Special Operations. Subordination Ministry of Defense. Number 1000. 1st U.S. Special Operations Detachment, Delta, organized by the U.S. Department of Defense as a Special Forces unit. Tasks for Delta Force are to fight terrorism, popular uprisings, national intervention, although this group is also directed to carry out secret missions, including but not limited to saving civilians and invading. The unit could also be deployed to other U.S. military bases, both external and internal, to perform assigned tasks. On November 4, 1979, almost immediately after the creation of Delta, 53 Americans were taken prisoner and imprisoned at the American Embassy in Tehran, Iran. The group was tasked with Operation Eagle Claw, the purpose of which was to infiltrate the country undetected and rescue the prisoners during April 24 to 26, 1980. The operation failed due to an overly complex plan, an insufficiently trained Special Forces air team to escort the crew, a collision between a rescue helicopter and an air tanker with fuel, technical problems that reduced the number of active helicopters from 8 to 5, one less than the required number, before the participants' operations were able to leave the helicopter crash site to attack.
Subscribe to the channel, it will be more interesting. Thank you in advance.
SSG Pakistan. Country Pakistan. Function Special Operations. Subordination Ministry of Defense. Number 2100. The Special Services Group, SSG, is a Pakistani Army Special Forces, similar to the American Green Berets. The official number of 2,100 fighters. Divided into 3 battalions. The first, Baptism of Fire, was received in 1965 in the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir. Participated in the Afghan War, 1979 to 1989. After Musharraf's military regime came to power, Special Forces began to be involved in the fight against the Islamists. SSG staffing is carried out on a voluntary basis. Prior to enlistment in the SSG, officers must have served in the armed forces for at least 2 years and be contracted to continue serving in the group for 3 years. NCOs and enlisted personnel are enlisted in the SSG from other units and divisions of the Army. Unidad de Operations Especiales. Country Spain. Function Special Marine Operations. Subordination Spanish Navy. Number 130. In 1952, a unit was created, which became known as a company of climbers divers. Its backbone was a group of officers of the Spanish Marine Corps, who attended the training course, command of a unit in the mountains. In 1957, after the creation of a special group of Spanish Marines, the unit was redeployed to Tercio Sur, and in 1966, a UOE, Unidad de Operations Especiales, Special Operations Company, was formed on its basis. In the UOE, officers and non-commissioned officers undergo the same training with personnel and live in the same conditions with ordinary soldiers at the same time. The chiefs must perform any exercise, any maneuver more correctly and faster than the most trained of the subordinates. This close interaction and cohesion are considered the key to the successful implementation of the tasks. GIGN. Country France. Function Special Operations. Subordination Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Internal Affairs. Number 380. The intervention group of the French National Gendarmerie, abbreviated as GIGN, is the elite anti-terrorist unit of the French Gendarmerie. Since the National Gendarmerie is simultaneously subordinate to both the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of the Interior, the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group is simultaneously considered a special forces unit of both the Army and the police. Personnel of 380 people. The tasks of the unit include the neutralization of armed criminals, especially related to the release of hostages, counter-terrorism activities, resolving situations related to the hijacking of aircraft and riots in prisons. One of the GIGN operations is the liberation of the Al-Haram Mosque in Mecca in 1979. Initially, GIGN consisted of 15 fighters, later the unit was expanded to 48 in 1984, to 57 in 1988 and 87 in 2000. The group was twice awarded the Cross of Military Valor in 2011 for distinction in Afghanistan, Côte d'Ivoire, and Libya, and in 2013 for distinction in Afghanistan. GIGN was selected by the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, to train the special forces of other member states of the International Anti-Terror Forces. Sayeret Matkal. Country Israel. Function Reconnaissance, Counter-Terrorism, Hostage Rescue. Subordination Directorate of Intelligence of the General Staff of the Army. Sayeret Matkal is a special unit of the General Staff of the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, also known as Unit 262 or Unit 269. It also operates outside of Israel. The Sayeret Matkal detachment is a company and includes a control section, 3 combat platoons and a supply group. All servicemen of the company have a parachute diploma or even a certificate of a tactical level paratrooper, have mastered one or more military registration specialties of a very different profile. Moreover, the company has another small combat group, which carries out the release of hostages and is even capable of storming objects on the high seas. Members of this combat group are trained in diving techniques with underwater breathing apparatus. The exact data on the quantitative composition and deployment of Sayeret Matkal units is a secret and is not published in open information sources. Sayeret Matkal was formed in 1957 by an officer named Avraham Arnon. Initially, this unit was built in the image and likeness of the British SAS. Repatriates from the former Soviet Union also served and serve in Sayeret Matkal. Women also serve in non-combat positions in the unit.
Don't forget to subscribe and like.